Routines are boring. You have to stop conditioning yourself to say this. Welcome to another video. Welcome to the channel Master of Time. I know if you're not a subscriber yet, please hit the subscribe button. You're gonna love the videos here. And please like, share. This video is going to be a video about routine, about habits. So let's get to it. So when we're talking about routine, just think about it. If you start your day without a plan, you're gonna have to spend a lot more mental energy just to figure things out. So when you have a routine, it's easy because your mind is going to be free to do what really matters, what matters to you, what matters to your growth. And I hear people saying all the time, oh, I don't like routines because it's Jewish. I don't like the control. Well, let me tell you something. Routine is not about control, it's about freedom. Why do you think the most successful people in the world, they swear by their routines? The reason is our brain crave structure. When you have a clear system in place, you eliminate decision fatigue, you create space for growth and for creativity. Let's talk quickly about decision fatigue. Well, it's very simple. The more actions, the more things you have to do and decisions to make, the more likely you are to procrastinate, to overeat, and to make bad financial decisions. So by creating routines, you're less likely to be affected by decision fatigue. And it's interesting because this is one of the facts that the reason why the big influencers and huge entrepreneurs, they reduce decision fatigue by simplifying a lot of their mundane routines. Example, clothing. You probably heard the stories about like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. They usually wear the same thing, or they have very simple outfits because that is reducing the number of decisions they actually have to make, which is dressing themselves. Now, I'm not talking about, for you to reduce your wardrobe or to have just one outfit. Whatever works for you, and that's what works for them. Your brain loves routine. You know why? Because it creates efficiency. And it creates efficiency by preserving energy. And if you've been part of one of my trainings, my time management trainings, I always talk about the two main commands of the brain. Okay, the first one is preserving energy. The second one is only spend energy if there's a threat. Okay, so obviously your brain is always going to be looking for ways to preserve energy, and routines are a great way to automate actions and preserve energy. Let's quickly talk about rewiring your brain, which is neuroplasticity. Rewiring your brain so that the routines that you're creating, they become more and more automated. The more you execute a routine, think about a routine as a command that you send to your brain, right? Much like programs in computers, they work by command. Okay, so you're sending a command to your brain. The more you walk that path or perform that routine, the more that the neural pathway is going to be pronounced, which means that it's going to get easier and easier and easier. That's why sometimes if you initiate a new morning routine that you have to wake up earlier, and it's hard. The first day is hard, the second day your body's still adjusting, but after a week or two, it becomes easier for you, right? And that's exactly because of neuroplasticity. You are creating that pathway, that new pathway that you created in your brain, and then it gets imprinted and imprinted, and it gets easier for you to execute. And one misconception that people have about routine is that they always have to be perfect. No, that's not true. If your routine is not always the same or is not always perfect, obviously our goal is to have our routines almost always the same. Like I said, in neuroplasticity, repetition is key. But if you don't have that routine always perfect, always the same, It's not a problem because the goal of routine is not perfection, it's consistency. If you miss a day or two, no problem. The most important thing is get back on track. The more you create this mentality of, I think it's more than mentality, it's the awareness of when you are following a routine and you fall off the track in one day, next day you have the awareness to be like, okay, I didn't perform that routine yesterday, so let me do it today. And then you go back to it. That's awareness. And the real power of routine, it's not even the routine itself. It's who you become because of the routine. Another question that I usually get is, Rod, what's the difference between a habit and a routine? Well, they're very similar, but there are certain differences, and I think I created a little chart to show you. Maybe it's going to be easier for you to understand the difference between habit and routine. And here you go. Okay, let's talk about habit versus routine. When it comes to the conscious effort, okay, to realize one or the other, habit is more, it happens more automatic, okay? Now, routines needs more intentionality. You have to actually plan your routine. When it comes to triggering, okay, remember that triggering is what causes an initiation of that action. When it comes to trigger about habit, usually is a cue, okay? It's very well known by the book The Power of Habit or Atomic Habits as well. Those are two different books which I recommend. Atomic Habits is a book that explains more about the cycle of habit. An amazing book. Now, cue. What is a cue? A cue is the trigger example that I gave here, which is brushing your teeth. When you wake up, that's a cue. You woke up, you brush your teeth, okay? So that's a cue. Now, for routine, what triggers is usually a plan or a schedule, okay? So you see the intentionality here? You actually need a plan or a schedule to execute a routine. Here it's showing us one thing that you can actually distinct habit from routine, which is usually, not always, but usually a habit is a single action, okay? A routine is a sequence of actions, okay? So that's easy to pinpoint sometimes the difference between the habit and routine. Let's talk about flexibility. In habits, usually it's more rigid, okay? So there's not much flexibility within a habit. Now, for a routine, there is more flexibility. You can actually adjust different routines. And it helps that a routine usually is a sequence, like I said, a sequence of repeated action. So you can adjust those sequences and the individual action. And just bringing some examples here for you for a habit and for a routine. A habit, bad habit, as you can see here, biting your nail. Bad habit is also, people that have vices like smoking, drinking, stuff like that. Drinking your coffee in the morning, that's a habit. Not necessarily a bad habit, it's just a habit that people usually have. And examples of routine, your morning workout, your meditation routine, your prayer routine in the morning. All those are routines that you create within your morning, your afternoon, your evening, doesn't really matter, but those are routines. So these were the main differences between habit and routine. The most important thing about this video is what's the routine that will work for you? First, you have to think about it. There's a lot of content, even here in my channel and also on my Instagram, about building a ideal routine. Okay? So think about that. What is ideal for you? The most important thing for you right now is to think about an ideal routine. Do I need to make changes to my routine? Get your list of goals, list of objectives, and see if your routine is matching with those goals and objectives. If your existing routine that you're performing right now is going to lead you to achieve those goals and objectives. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm excited to bring you even more content on the next videos. Now let's get your routine started. Let's get your productive routine. I'll see you on the next video. God bless you.